Hello, Cleveland. Welcome to Mock Draft Monday over on the Dawgland. I am your host, Anthony Joki. As always, got Jackson McCurry alongside me. Jack, man, how we doing today?
Doing good, man. First of all, sorry I'm late
Oh, you're
because we
good.
planned on recording like an hour ago, and then I got busy with other stuff after work. But here we are with another edition of Mock Draft Monday, and it's the post combine edition of Mock Draft Monday.
That it is, and you're good because the amount of times I've taken naps and missed our start time is too many to count. So,
And
um,
and I've done
you
that too, so it's
you're
all
you're,
good.
you're totally fine. All right, so obviously we've been doing these for a while. We have a lot of testing data, that we've seen from guys because of the combine this past weekend. So maybe that's probably going to influence some of our decisions as we go along here. So we're going to get started. We have our normal settings using the PFF mock simulator. Apologize for the one last week. We didn't really notice what happened with the third overall pick until way after the fact. We appreciate somebody pointing that out in the comments. Um, so I think we're gonna stick with PFF for now. So we're gonna get this started and see who Tennessee takes at number one, which they haven't deviated on this simulator from Cam Ward. I think the entire time we've been doing this. So maybe if we jacked up the randomness, it might change. But still expected Tennessee is going to go Cam Ward number one. So that leaves us the Browns here at number two. And Jack, post combine, how are we feeling?
I think we feel the same way we did coming in. Obviously, like Cam Ward or Shador didn't do any of the testing. They were around, they interviewed with teams, including the Browns. And now they start their pre-draft visits. I know it's been reported that Shador and Cam Ward are both visiting with Tennessee this week. I'm pretty sure based on that video Shador posted a couple weeks ago, he's visiting the Browns on March 4th, which would be tomorrow on Tuesday. Although that hasn't been confirmed by any national reports, so that'll be interesting. But I feel the same way I felt a week ago. I think we take a quarterback. I feel like it should be Cam Ward, but I feel confident that either guy can be the long term answer at quarterback for the Browns. I feel better about Cam because of the physical tools, but because of the fit in Kevin Stefanski's offense, I think Shador can definitely be that guy. So, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm the Browns GM, I'm sitting here at two. I'm taking a quarterback. Would like it to be Cam Ward, but I have no problem with it being Shador as well. How about you?
Yeah, it's unless something drastically changes over the course of now between the draft with the quarterback situation, whether that's free agency, whether that's a trade. We now know Matthew Stafford is staying in Los Angeles, so he's off the table. So unless something drastic changes, I am, full on board with Shador at number two. I love Abdul Carter. I think Travis Hunter would be great, but when you look at where the Browns are right now, I think you have to go quarterback at this spot and go with Shador here since Cam Ward is already off the board. So we're gonna go Shador and move on up. All right. So we are at pick number 33, the first pick in the second round. One couple names stand out here to me. Josh Connerly, left tackle. You don't know what the left tackle situation is going to be. Jack Beck, who tested pretty well at the combine. Landon Jackson, edge as well, also tested really well. When you look at who's here, Jack, what are your thoughts with the first pick here in the second round?
Like usual, we're in a great spot. We took Colson Loveland last week, and somehow he fell again, which I'm pretty surprised because I feel like he's definitely going in the first round.
I think
But like,
the Chargers make the most sense.
yeah, absolutely. Or Denver, personally. I mean, I just think Denver using it, getting another weapon for Bo Nix, I think that would be a perfect spot for him. But um, yeah, I mean, we need D tackle help. You know, you couldn't go wrong with Sanders or Tyreek Williams, Jack Beckett, wide receiver, getting whoever the quarterback's going to be a weapon, along with Ayo Manor from Stanford. But like we've talked about trench play, Anthony, and how it's so valuable here. And I see Josh Connerly. He's one of my favorite prospects in this draft. Shout out to our draft guy, Alex Hale. He's the one that pointed me in this direction, watching how he held up pretty good against Abdul Carter in the Big Ten championship game. And yes, you look at the options, like we can go tackle, you know, down the board, maybe at 67. But when Connerly's here, I mean, that would be the guy I would go with. I don't know how you're feeling about this right now because there is some pretty intriguing options. I know our guy Landon Jackson put on a show at the combine this week in terms of edge rusher, and we still don't know how the Miles Garrett situation is going to play out, but definitely some intriguing options here for the Browns here at 33.
Yeah, it's a tough spot here because there's a handful of guys that I would really enjoy. Um, do you feel like with the um, I know we kind of briefly talked about trades with the amount of draft picks that we have right now. Do you feel like that maybe down the road they're going to try to condense some of them and um, I forget who said it, but it might have been Schefter that there uh, are a lot of guys that could go in a range from 10 to 40, and people feel like that it'd be equal value. Do you see a scenario where maybe the Browns maybe condense some of their picks and move up from 67 and get two picks here early in the second round?
Oh yeah, I could definitely see it. And I know the quote you were talking about. I think he said like you can get a guy at pick 10 and a guy at pick 40 would be equal value. It's not a strong draft class in some aspects. I know we know like defensive line, it's pretty deep. Running back, it's very deep. I feel like, and there's buzz coming out of the combine that the Browns love the running back, or the Browns have been tied to running backs, which means they probably love them. Probably trying to pair one up with a Nick Chubb or and a Jerome Ford to really go into a committee type situation on offense. So if a running back slips at unless they just absolutely love one at 33 and want to take him there, I could see where they pick another position like tackle, like edge, maybe D tackle, and then like you said, package some picks and try to get a running back here because it's deep. So I can definitely see that scenario playing out for sure because we know right now they have 11 draft picks. I don't even think the comp picks have been distributed, which would actually put them around 11 or 12 officially. So, yeah, I just don't see them drafting 11 or 12 rookies. That's why any trade with Miles Garrett, like, yes, they probably want some picks this year, maybe some top 100 picks, but I think they're looking more to stacking some draft capital into 2026 and beyond as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that could happen after the draft. So, maybe you're getting a first round pick in 2026, 2027, and, whatever else draft capital wise. I see the Bears have two picks here, one at 39, one at 41. Would you want to attempt to maybe move up here from 67 and see if, um, we could squeeze out an extra picks and condense some of these?
Sure.
All right, so let's see. Bears at 39. Go 40. Might make it. We'll do 67. Way up. Maybe we could. All right. So
So
67,
we traded.
94,
Yep.
165, and 193. move up to 41. So now we're
Okay.
sitting at 33 and 41, which would give us an opportunity here um, to probably get a tackle and probably get an edge player. So the question is, you want to uh, your preference who you want to take first? Because I don't think Connerly or Landon Jackson is going to make it to 41. So we'd probably pick between those two guys. But you have this whole list of edge: Landon, Princely, Braden Swinson, JTT, Jack Sawyer, Jared Ivey. That would all probably be there at 41. Um, I would personally go
I
tackle, but that's
I would
me.
personally take Connerly and then hope Landon Jackson's there, but like Princely tested pretty well, especially explosion wise with his vertical and his broad. He was good in his terms of his speed, but he put up a good relative athletic score. So I would be okay um with like Princely as a consolation. But like even if Landon doesn't make it there, you mean we could talk running back and see who's there on the board as well at 41.
All right,
But definitely I would take Connerly here
yeah.
at 33.
I mean, Sawyer would even be an option there too if both Jackson.
Right.
Surprised that he's still around. But all right,
And
so
he didn't test at all at the combine.
we'll take Connerly and see what happens here.
And he goes to pick before.
Or all right, so
I mean, we have some options here. Shamar Turner, who obviously like blew up the combine.
Nick Emanwari also tested really well. The safety out of
Yes.
South Carolina. So that's an option. Need safety. But I feel like I know you said running back. So let's kind of look at running back edge, kind of
Even throw DL in there.
deal.
Defensive. Yeah. Because I feel like Shamar Turner should be in the debate here.
All right. So looking at these guys here, what are you thinking?
I mean, we talked about Princely, Shamar Turner, like the production wasn't there, but he absolutely put on a show Thursday night at the combine. Obviously, a perfect 10.0 relative athletic score. I mean, they stacked him up and compared him to Miles Garrett, who obviously, went to Texas A&M, but you looked at the production, and that was, I think, the biggest takeaway was he had 5.5 sacks in his career at Texas A&M. So he did get a lot of pressures, he did get a lot of hits, but the sacks didn't generate. He reminds me of a guy that Alex loved a couple years back, Odafe Owe, at a Penn State, and he's turned into a pretty good pass rusher for the Baltimore Ravens. Um, so I think Shamar Turner should definitely be on the table here. Um, Princely, obviously, we can reach for one of these running backs, even though I think in hindsight, or when you're looking at the big, not hindsight, but the big picture, I think like Judkins and I'm pretty sure Trey Henderson's still on the board. He would be in the discussion. You're reaching for, in terms of the board, you're reaching on these guys, but like we need running back. I think there's no doubt about it. I think Todd McShay said that he expects the Browns to draft a running back at some point in the second round, which could be very well via trade up. But like, if you want to keep adding that defensive line, Anthony, I think Princely or Shamar Turner's got to be the picks here. I don't know how you're feeling about it right now.
Yeah, I'm full on board with besides quarterback going O line D line, and I think that's what you do build upon at this point. Um, it sure is Turner an edge because he's
He
listed.
was he was 290 in college, and then so I'm assuming he was a D tackle at A&M, but he is bumped down to where he's 265, and uh he would be considered an edge now.
Uh,
So
uh,
I
if we're battling between the edges here, I'll put it on you to call between Princely and Jamar Turner.
Yeah, it just says he was a defensive lineman. So okay, he was D tackle at A&M, but now he's 265. Obviously, the explosions there, the ability to be a pass rusher is there. I think you get in with Jim Schwartz, and you might unlock what Texas A&M couldn't. So you know what? He was the combine MVP in terms of defense. Give me Shamar Turner here at
All
41.
right. All right. So with the first three picks, we have quarterback, left tackle, and edge. I think that's a good start to the draft. So because of the trades, our next pick won't be until 103. So let's see what we'll have. Get there. Obviously, going to take a second all the way down to 103. I just saw Harold Fannings this before. All right, so we could probably build a few positions here, right? Um, we could probably build running back.
Running back, corner, wide receiver.
I still think offensive line kind of throw.
Yeah.
All right, so you're looking at.
I,
Did I miss one?
no, you're good.
Okay. All right, so looking what we have here. Um, handful of running backs, handful of corners. What are your thoughts?
DJ Giddens stands out because he tested really well at the combine. He's part of this deep running back class. Um, Isaiah Bond, obviously explosive playmaker at the wide receiver position, but there is some red flags there. So I would kind of steer away from him right now. We've talked about the corners here. I think the Browns probably will draft one just because that's been Barry's MO. Um, Wide receiver, there's really nothing there. So I really think it comes down to DJ Gidden and then one of the three quarters, Parrish, Kobe Bryant, Mello Dotson. I think that's should definitely be the four guys here, I think, in the discussion for sure.
I like that Kansas had both Kobe and Mello on their
Yeah,
defense.
that's pretty unique.
um, they're obviously both spelled different, just so they're not the same. All right, so it's tough. I just think with where the cornerback room is right now, you have Denzel Ward. Um, Martin Emerson is in his last season or going into his last year of his contract. We don't know what's going to happen with Greg Newsome. He's probably going to get traded, would be my guess. I feel like corner, um, it would be the way to go. Do you remember how these guys tested the corners?
I'm looking them up right now as we're discussing, so I'm trying to be really quick about it.
Okay. um, but yeah, I think it would make perfect sense. Um, Andrew Barry's gone every single draft so far, taking a corner. I don't see that trend ending. Um, especially when you're right here, like pick 103, you can still have, probably a top 100 player at this position. Um, how's your googling going?
Well, I'm just gonna say it. We're going by the board here. So if we're going corner, it's Jacob Parrish, just because he's the best corner on the board and he had the best relative athletic score. Mello Dotson did not test very well speed wise. He ran a 4.6, and not very good explosion. Kobe Bryant did not do well, but Jacob Parrish was pretty solid across the board.
He's also only 21 years old, too. So,
And that definitely helps.
yeah. All right, so we'll go Jacob Parrish and move on, and still got a ways to go to the next pick, which will be 180. See how.
And Parrish had 4.3 speed. He's a little smaller, 5'9". But I mean, everything explosion, vertical jump was great. Like good cover corner. I think with that 4.3 speed, it's so key with these playmakers coming out year after year. You got to keep up with them.
All right, so we're sitting at pick 180. We have 5 picks left here. Anybody? I see one name down, kind of Jordan James back.
Jordan James, the running back from Virginia Tech, stood out this past weekend at the combine. Tutton, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, I won't.
But
I
yeah,
won't attempt the first one. We need that pronunciation guide here soon.
yes. But
Um,
Jordan James did not stand out very well at the combine, so I think that's going to hurt his stock. I think it just depends, Anthony. Like, do you want like the speed back? Do you want a bruiser back? in the AFC North. I'm sure we could probably double up here towards the end and draft two running backs, one that has speed, one that is that bruiser. Um, I'd probably go Tutton here. You can make a case to go for another quarterback. Um, yes, you can go for the interior. We can look at tight end as well. Luke Lachey had a good week at the combine. Gadsden, I think he might be end up being a wide receiver. Priest Corn, I do not remember. I think Conyers tested pretty well from what I recall, but I would go running back here at this point, and I don't know too much about Tutton, but I know he tested really well, and he's had some pretty productive seasons there at Virginia Tech.
They had over 1,100 yards last year, 6.3 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns. Not really a pass catcher. He had 23 receptions for 81 yards last year. Um,
Strong zone grades, great strong elusive grade as well. So I
yeah.
think that fits what the Browns are going to do off running wise. So
What was his RAS?
9 point. Oh wait, hold on.
And any of these RAS can be found. Math Bomb on Twitter, who has been putting this together for many years and does a great job with it.
9.73. He was elite in explosion grade and speed grade.
All right.
He's
Yeah.
just a bit undersized. He's 5'9", 206. So
5'9". I'm down for it.
he would, yeah, he would be your. I'm just throwing a name out there. You're Darren Sproles, and then you want to obviously pair him up with a bruising back or hopefully Nick Chubb. So
All right. So we'll go Tutton here and move on.
let's look at tight ends. Just tight ends.
Jay Gaddison are your top two picks here. I know Gaddison tested pretty well from what I remember,
And so did Lachey.
and I
Uh,
think
I
I think Alex said that Gaddison did well in the Gauntlet too, if I remember correct.
he did. Which for people that don't know the gauntlet, it's where they do like the pass catching, and Alex looks at like how they catch the ball, and he grades them on that. So I would probably go Luke Lachey here
Luke
because he
Lachey.
tested well, and you got to look back at like Iowa tight ends like Kittle, Hawkinson, Laporta, like they have produced tight ends. So
Surprisingly,
and Luke,
he didn't grade out very well blocking.
he did not grade
From
out
what I
well, but he
remember.
did test well. And I would think with our offensive line coach, with Bill Callahan ties, like look what he did with Harrison Bryant and David Njoku. Bill Callahan, I'm saying, he did not run, but his explosion was good. 35-inch vertical, 10-foot broad jump. He did not run the 40 or anything, so that's interesting. Um, but decent arm length, which means he could probably do okay as a blocker and improve. So
Older guy, 6'6", almost 20 old, but
yeah,
you get it into this part of the draft, the guardrails kind of are probably a little bit lessened. So yeah, I'm good with going Lachey and on here.
yeah.
All right, so we have back to back pick. Um, couple safety options. I
Safeties.
already know where we're going without even.
Well, we got back to back picks, so you know where one of them's going.
Right.
We need safeties. So let me look at RJ. Mickens tested out really good. Wooler tested better, so that's where the
think I saw
Wooler's
I think I saw Holland Pierce like tested pretty damn well too.
yeah.
Tackle.
So Mickens is a free safety. Wooler is a strong safety. So we already have our strong safety in Great Delpit. So you could theoretically pair up Mickens with a veteran at the free safety spot and hope for the best there. Hope he gets good development, good coverage guy, good run defender. He's a graduate, so he is older.
Yeah.
So Jack Duffin might have a stroke watching this make this pick, but I would take Mickens here because we need safety help.
All right. Look at that. We almost had Gaddison on this pick.
Ooh, well then he would have just been our wide receiver pick
Yeah.
if he fell there. Yeah. So
All right. So we'll go Mickens.
and
And
you know where we're going with
yeah,
217.
I don't even have to debate this. We're going with Dante Thornton Jr.
Yes,
We have to ask Alex how he did in the gauntlet. I don't give us an answer.
he was not one of the guys. So
Okay.
unless he, yeah,
All right. So we're going to go Thornton and move on to our last pick at 257.
he's our gadget guy in this draft. He's because what did he run in the 40? And you say he ran 4.3?
Yeah. Yeah. I think his second attempt, he ran a 4.3.
Yeah. We need linebackers. I know that.
I know Marcus Ware graded really well last year. I mean, you could
I swear I've
at
seen
this
Teddy
point, it's a
Buchanan
toss up.
higher on other boards, and he had a 5.9.57 Ross. Let's just take him.
Who was
Teddy
that?
Buchanan out of Cal.
You can't.
Uh, yep, he'll be Mr. Irrelevant.
We'll go Teddy, and that'll end the draft. That's going to give us an F for Shador Sanders at number 2, but that's just for whatever reason. Um, but looking at this, I'm really thrilled with the first 4 picks here. You got your quarterback, you got a tight end, you got an edge guy, and a corner. All premier positions that you need, and to get those with your first 4 picks, I don't think you could really argue with that.
No, you really can't. I mean, we know what the premium positions are in this draft to target, and we hit them all. Like you said, quarterback, offensive tackle, edge rusher, corner, and then filling in some other holes in day 3 of the draft with running back, tight end, safety, wide receiver, and linebacker. I think they come out good. You focus more on those top 4 picks here, and you really hope that Shador is the right quarterback for the Browns. Connerly hopefully filling that at left tackle spot, adding Shador or Shamar Turner to that defensive line, and then getting another corner and putting him in that room and letting him develop behind Denzel and the rest of those guys, and hopefully he turns into a player. So I thought we did pretty well in this edition of the mock.
Yeah, and I like the trade up. I don't think that's something that's probably super realistic, but to go up that many spaces, but I could see the Browns condensing some of these draft picks, so they're not taking like 11 players, like 12 players
A-
in the draft.
Absolutely.
All right, anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man. This was another fun little exercise, especially with a trade up because we haven't done that one yet. So definitely looking forward to the rest of these as we make the stretch towards draft day.
Yep. We appreciate everybody watching. Be sure to let us know in the comments what you think of this draft here. Be sure to like and subscribe the video as well. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, remember, as always, go Browns.